Jesus said to his disciples, "As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. In those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day that Noah entered the ark. They did not know until the flood came and carried them all away. So will it be also at the coming of the Son of Man. 2 men will be out in the field, one will be taken, and one will be left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken, and one will be left. Therefore, stay awake, for you do not know on which day your Lord will come. Be sure of this, if the master of the house had known the hour of night when the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and not let his house be broken into. So too, you also must be prepared, for at an hour you do not expect, the Son of Man will come." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
It's the first Sunday of Advent, so it is the beginning of a new liturgical year. And we turn all the way back to our reading cycle to year A. So we begin on the very first page of our lectionary. And what does the church tell us about at the very beginning of the first cycle of readings? Well, spoiler alert, it's all about the end of time. Let's look. The prophet Isaiah tells us his vision concerning Judah and Jerusalem in days to come. He sees Jerusalem raised up until it becomes the highest mountain on the planet, because it is, after all, the mountain of the Lord's house. And people from the entire world will come to the Lord's mountain for instruction, and then go forth to show the whole world the ways of God. And when all follow the Lord, finally there will be judgment, and then peace. No need for war ever again. And in the Gospel, we hear about Jesus' vision of the last day, at the coming of the Son of Man. But rather than Jerusalem being raised up, Jesus sees people being taken to the New Jerusalem, coming down from the sky. But Jesus doesn't really seem too concerned about the actual physical details. His main concern seems to be that the people are prepared. He says, "Stay awake, for you do not know on which day the Lord will come. Keep constant vigil. The flood, the thief, the coming of the Son of Man will come when you aren't expecting it. You don't want to be left behind. There won't be a second chance." And what is St. Paul telling the Romans? It's time to awake from sleep. Wake up. The night is advanced and day is dawning. Throw off the works of darkness. No more orgies or drunkenness, promiscuity and lust, rivalry and jealousy must all be done away with. Because when the Son of Man comes, he will judge our lives. And believe me, you don't want to be left behind. So how do we protect ourselves from evil deeds? How do we prepare ourselves for the coming of the Lord? St. Paul says to put on the armor of light. In his letter to the Ephesians, Paul points out 6 specific pieces of this armor of God to wear so that we will be able to stand firm against the tactics of the devil. We could call this our Advent preparedness suit. First, gird yourself with the belt of truth. Then clothe yourself with righteousness as a breastplate. Your feet should be shod in readiness for the gospel of peace. In all circumstances, hold faith as a shield to quench all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take on the helmet of salvation, and finally the sword of the Spirit, who is the Word of God. It may sound like a lot to weigh us down, especially when we are preparing to be taken up into the sky to meet Jesus in the clouds. But according to Isaiah, we're going to beat it all into plowshares and pruning hooks, so it won't be wasted. And lastly, Paul tells us to put on Jesus Christ. At baptism, we are drenched by water, anointed with oil, and clothed in a white garment as a sign of our righteousness. Throughout life, by the reception of the other sacraments, especially reconciliation and the Eucharist, we grow in grace. We become more like Christ. We put on Jesus Christ. Let us all arm ourselves against evil and put on Christ through the sacraments this Advent season, so that we will be prepared to welcome him once more at Christmas, until he finally takes us home to the New Jerusalem. Oh, and stay awake.